Howdy folks, welcome back. So I thought I'd show you a new acquisition of mine, which I'm pretty excited about. This is an Uberti Colt Walker replica, and it is very nice. Weighs about 3 pounds, 8 ounces, so it is not insubstantial. It's fun to shoot, but it's pretty much a horse pistol as it was intended. You wouldn't really want to walk around like Josey with a couple of these shoved in your belt. But the other day I was at a local garage sale and I happened to spot this under an old laundry basket, and I asked the gentleman about it, and he said that he had found it in his attic and that his grandpa said that his grandpa was a Texas Ranger and he didn't know anything about guns, but he found this and he figured it was probably authentic. So I offered him $60 for it, and he said that sounded fair to him, and I just had it appraised, and it's worth probably $80,000 as an original Colt Walker. Pretty cool deal for me. Of course, I'm just kidding. I'm sure that's happened to somebody at some point, but this is not an original Colt Walker, although some people who I've had look at it said that they thought that it was, but they were ill-informed. This is a Palmetto, we think. The font is wrong. A lot of things are wrong for an authentic Walker, but the only markings on the gun other than the US 1847 and the very low serial number of 453, all matching, is this GM on the cylinder. And gunsmith friend of mine that I know says that after he looked at this and a third model Dragoon of mine and a Patterson I also have, that so we think they're from the 60s replicas. He thinks that there may have been an independent maker or importer that sold replica and antiqued and defarbed Colts for display purposes, because after he's worked on these, he says he doesn't think that they actually were ever finished at any factory since they were so badly out of time and other issues. So anyway, hopefully this is in working condition now. I sent this to Jackrabbit 1957 from the High Road forums, along with a couple of other old replicas of mine, and he did his magic on it. Converted the springs to the Ruger style coil springs and plungers for the internal springs, and he also installed his cap guard here that is kind of a really cool idea. It slides back and forth and keeps cap fragments from falling into the action. And as you can see and probably hear, it's in good working order now, which it wasn't when I sent it to him. It was badly out of time and it would over rotate and wasn't working properly anyway. I guess if you wanted more looks at it, but it's obviously been intentionally weathered and aged. There's, little hammer marks, and like here there's little mallet marks, and made to look like it was an original, or made to look authentic Old West style. You can tell from the thick and kind of ungainly style of this thick trigger guard here that it's not an original. That's one of the ways. Obviously the cylinder roll marking is much more coarse than an original, but it's, a reasonable facsimile. And that's supposed to say US mounted rifles or USMR, model USMR or something here, but this says nothing patent. So I guess the Italians or the Spaniards, whoever actually made this, figured that was an English word, so that would be okay to use. And near as we can tell, it was probably made by a company called Palmetto. Not Palmetto State Armory, which is the current company. This is an old Italian replica company back from the 50s and 60s called Palmetto, which is now defunct. That's what I believe that this is. As you can see, it has round cylinder notches, whereas the Uberti replica has oval notches, and the roll marking is a little bit finer on the cylinder. It's different, and this one says model USMR. I don't know if you can read that anyway. And of course this has the PA Noir black powder proof marks and other. There's the date mark CL here, and US 1847 there. And then there's some other marks here and underneath the trigger guard. I assume that continues. The Uberti is usually pretty kind to not stamp it all over the barrel like the Pieta replicas do. Anyway, this one is completely free of any markings, as I said, other than the serial number and that weird GM. And I'm wondering if the GM is perhaps the original purchaser that purchased this and the third model Dragoon and the Patterson that I have. They all have that GM on them, or it was the importer slash builder or some sort of company that was providing replicas for either display purposes or I don't know what else you would use them for, because they were not in shooting condition, as I said. So, but this has been worked on by Jackrabbit 1957, and he did really good work. It feels great. So I haven't shot it yet, so let's load them up and see how this thing works, if it will work. All right, so I'm sure this looks goofy. It probably is. But this is the setup that I have here today. So we're gonna try to shoot 5 shots at 15 yards. See how it goes. Well, I'm still here. This load is 35 grains of 2FG GoX and a loop felt wad and a Hornady 454-inch lead round ball. Well, I can see one hole, and it is about 8 inches high, which is not unexpected. It's blowing apart my padding here. It's pretty fun. All right. These are Remington number 10 caps. I think I've got a fragment down into the behind the cylinder here, maybe, but maybe it's just getting fouled. Let's go see. See the smoke. Which is actually a little bit further than 15 yards. That actually is not bad. 2, 3, 4, 5. That must be, I don't know what that is. That must be a wad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the one I can see. So that's like 4 inches from a rest. I think my birdie will shoot pretty much an X-ring group at this distance. But that's just the first load I tried, 35 yards. So maybe it likes a little bit hotter load. So let's try 40 and see if I can do a little bit better. But it's working, which is good. To my knowledge, that revolver has not ever been fired. It's not ever been fired as long as I've been alive to remember it, and I don't think my dad ever shot it. And I'm pretty sure that it wasn't actually in firing condition before I had Jackrabbit 1957 work on it. So I doubt that it's ever actually been fired. So for the first shots ever out of it, that's not too bad, I guess. All right, so let's try the second group with the Palmetto Walker. The cylinder just needed a little bit of oil on the arbor. See if I can see well enough to actually do any better. This is 40 grains of 2FG. Everything else is the same. Remington number 10 caps. I'm gonna have to figure out another system for the padding. It's gonna be destroyed after this. That's fun. I think this is the one that didn't go off. Maybe one came off. Let's see. I think I lost a cap. So let's recap that guy. One of the annoying things about this particular revolver is an entire cap will fit behind the nipple toward the center. So it gets jammed back in there, and it's hard to get it back out. Here we go. Well, I haven't had any cap jams, and it's still working, so thanks so much. I'm gonna have to figure out something else for that. Let's go check out the group. All right, so that's looking better. So that's 10 ring group, you know, roughly 2.5 inches, maybe 3. It's pretty well centered. I'm holding here. So I'm actually pretty impressed with that. Maybe try 45 and see if it does any better, but we'll see. All right, let's try some offhand with the Palmetto Walker. Oh my gosh, that's fun. That is something special. Oh. I'm leaving my flinches in. Let's wait a few seconds for this. Okay. There we go. Drilled that small torso right in the middle. So let's hit the big torso. A little bit of a hang fire on that one. Now let's go around to the It's not ideal to shoot black powder indoors for obvious reasons, but it's working great. The cap shield is doing, I think it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and there's nothing falling into the action. And I believe he did some work on the spring as well, so it hasn't fallen down yet, but I haven't loaded a full 60 grains. I'm not sure I will in this old thing, but that's really fun. The concussion in here with black powder it's unparalleled. It's like this low frequency thump that's just very addictive. So let's let the range vent a little bit and we'll shoot another 6. All right, since we got 2 walkers here, figure we might as well end with a full Josey and see how this goes. Can't see anything. Well, I got my first jam. It was on the last round, and I think it just cleared itself. That cap got blown off. So 11 out of 12. Got one more shot for red legs. Want to go off? One more try. Nope. All right. That was fun. Hope you enjoyed that look at this old replica Walker. This one weighs 3 pounds, 11 3/4 ounces. Whereas the Uberti weighs 3 pounds, 8 ounces. So you can see it's a little bit thicker through here. It's pretty much more substantial, kind of more, less gracefully built, but it works. Apart from some non-functional caps, it's being pretty reliable for me. Those were 50 grain charges, by the way. So that's what I have read is the combat load of these, so that was fun. Cap and ball revolvers are great. If you can get one in your area, I encourage you to do so. Thanks for watching. See you next time.